Yo chat, what's going on? Welcome back to another vid. It seems that we have a bit of a confirmation that the Ahsoka show is indeed coming out this year, because it was never fully confirmed. It was mere just rumors, but now it seems to be quite possibly confirmed by Rosario Dawson herself, who plays, of course, Ahsoka in live action. One of the Clone Wars main characters is ready to make a comeback. Rosario Dawson, who played Ahsoka Tano in The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett, recently teased a potential release date for the spin-off centered around her character. In an interview on NBC's Today Show, the actress mentioned that Ahsoka could launch on Disney Plus during the fall. Since the show was filmed during the second half of last year, it would make perfect sense for it to be ready to go after this summer, given how it must go through post-production during the first half of this year. Here's how Dawson mentioned a possible release window for the series. Ahsoka, yes, that's probably going to come out in the fall. We're going to have Haunted Mansion coming out in August. Okay, so there are a few things I want to talk about, of course, regarding, all the shows coming out and how this falls into the shows that could come around it, such as Acolyte, perhaps, or maybe even a little bit after that. During the second season of The Mandalorian, Din Djarin, Pedro Pascal, and Grogu crossed paths with Ahsoka on their quest to find a Jedi that could train the baby in the ways of the Force. Because of the disagreements she had with the Jedi Order in the Clone Wars, Ahsoka no longer identifies herself as one and declines the offer to train Grogu. Nevertheless, he and the Mandalorian remain friends, knowing they'll have each other's backs against any major threat. In the Book of Boba Fett, Tano encourages Djarin to let Grogu decide by himself if he wants to stay with Luke Skywalker on his Jedi Academy, or if he wants to go back to having adventures with him. While there's no plot synopsis available for Ahsoka, which we all know is probably going to be about Thrawn and her saving Ezra, when the character was introduced to live action during the events of The Mandalorian, she was looking for the evil Grand Admiral Thrawn. The cold and calculating admiral was the main villain in another animated project, Star Wars Rebels. Given how some characters from that show have already been cast for Ahsoka, it's easy to imagine how the spin-off could serve as a live-action continuation to Rebels. It seems that fans are one step closer to knowing what happened to Ezra Bridger after all these years. While online rumors had already established the possibility of Dawson playing Ahsoka Tano in The Mandalorian, Lucasfilm never made an official announcement regarding the casting. Alright, so there's the full interview. If you guys want to check it out, it's linked here on collider.com. Now, here's a few things. Okay, so we're going to get Mandalorian March 1st, which is literally in 5 days or so, about 5-6 days. It's currently Thursday when I'm recording this at 4:34 in the morning, so yeah, about like 5 days or so from now. The show will go all the way until April 28th, I believe, with 8 weeks of episodes. So 8 episodes, most likely 8 weeks, which takes us to about April 28th, maybe even the very beginning of May. Probably not. If that takes us to, so that takes us pretty much to the beginning of May. May 4th, I think we get Vision Season 2 or something like that. Yeah, Vision Season 2, we get May 4th, 2023. So that'll be cool. That'll be a fun little watch party, and, we can have some fun with that. But after that, there isn't anything that we know of. So there's this big dead period from May 4th all the way up until the fall, which is rumored, is what better than rumor, what Rosario Dawson is saying in regards to the release of the Ahsoka show. Now, I think the Ahsoka show is going to blow the minds of so many people. It's, first of all, directed and produced by Dave Filoni. I believe it's produced. No, it's directed and written by Dave Filoni. And I know that Jon Favreau is also working on that show with Dave. So this show is supposed to coincide with events that go on in The Mandalorian Season 3. So we'll see how they're going to do that and how they're going to make it happen. But Jon Favreau did state that all of the events that happen in the Star Wars shows, especially Mandalorian, Skeleton Crew, Ahsoka, all need to kind of tie into each other at one point in time. So it could be previously, in the future, or in the present. So that's something that I think is a really good move because, the timeline will be sort of making sense where things aren't out of order, and it's kind of like a straight story where, one event will affect so many different things, kind of like what they did with Marvel and Thanos. So going forwards, I don't really know what we'll be getting in the summer. We haven't gotten the announcement of the Acolyte show at all, which I don't think will come out in the summer. I think that's probably going to be pushed to 2024, with Ahsoka in the fall, potentially coming out October or November, and then that leading into the very end of December or something like that, in which January 2024, we would get a whole new slate of things, hopefully. Now, of course, not to forget, we are getting Jedi Survivor end of April. So that'll take us well into the summer, depending how fast you want to play it and if you want to platinum the game. So that's always fun to have. However, as far as the Ahsoka show goes, one of the things I'm most anticipating is the fact, the rumor where she goes into the Beyond. Now, if you haven't heard me talk about this is essentially a place in the galaxy where we haven't really ventured into. And it's a place where we're going to learn about Sith magic and just dark magic in general, much like what the Night Sisters used, which, if you don't know who the Night Sisters are, they were the witches of Dathomir. So I think the idea of learning about Sith magic or dark side magic in general is something that I'm really interested about, because, well, first we know about the Force, right? At least we know a little bit about the Force. But we don't know much about Sith magic. And it's been all throughout Legends, Sith magic has been a very obscure and mysterious thing, but has yet been, used. And Palpatine used it in Rebels when he was going into the world between worlds. And I want to know more about it. How did he use this Sith magic? Where did he learn it from? Where did Mother Talzin learn all of the magic that she learned from? And how is she so powerful in it? And how are the Night Sisters so powerful with this magic? It's like a whole nother medium of the Force. I know a lot of people aren't too into it because they want the Force to be the only thing. But this has been around in Star Wars for a long, long time in comics and whatever, before Disney took over. So this is a George Lucas era thing. And I would really like to dive into the depths of it and get to know a little bit more about this magic. And the fact that Ahsoka is going to go deep into there will be pretty fun. And I'm wondering, or worried if Thrawn has actually gone into there and perhaps devised an army of his own made of magicians and witches for my first trick. Or if he's gone and learned it himself, which would make him a absolutely unstoppable force. So in short, the Ahsoka show is most likely going to be coming out in the fall, unless of course they push dates, which they always did. They pushed Bad Batch, they pushed Andor. So these are very possible things that could happen. However, I'm thinking with that dry period for the summer, unless they release something cool, we're probably going to be getting Ahsoka sometime in 2023, the last quarter, most likely. Let me know what's one thing you really want to see in the Ahsoka show, and I hope it comes true. Thanks for watching today's vid. Find me on Twitter at RealSWTheory, on Instagram and TikTok. Hope you all have a great day, and may the Force be with you.